This is Destroy All Humans. We're on Xbox One X. It doesn't note that it's enhanced, but it does look really quite great. So this is a remake of the, I don't know, could you call it a cult classic? I don't know. I quite enjoyed this back in the day. It was a really fun game, and I enjoyed jumping into it once again. So there are a wide range of missions as you come down as Crypto in order to discover what happened to the other Crypto, your predecessor Crypto. And there's funny little dialogue between the two, a very funny sense of humor between the main characters, you and your leader and your Furon invasion. So you get a series of different missions. Some are about, kind of going in all stealthily. Others are about destruction. There's a wide range, and they use these hub areas in order to provide that. So you'll get this big city section. There's a few of them across the country, and you get like 5 or 6 missions per area. And the missions actually do feel quite varied because you'll get different, themes in regards to the time that you're kind of battling in, and you get different sections become important during different moments, and they do a good job of keeping the action varied. There are a couple of boss fights, which were honestly a little bit tedious in regards to the sense that they didn't add any checkpoints to the actual experience in regards to if I'm doing a boss battle, there's multiple stages, you have to redo the whole thing, and that was honestly a little exhausting. But yeah, I think for the most part this is really great. I mean, visually it's the classic experience, but they've done just an absolutely lovely job updating this character. I mean, look at all the little details, the shine, really Crypto looks fantastic. You also see the little breathing, I don't even know what you would call those tentacles on the back of his head and stuff. They move ever so slightly. You see it even more during cutscenes and stuff. And just that little attention to detail is absolutely fantastic. You get a great selection of missions. Lots of different weapons and tools that you can unleash upon enemies, and it's just quite a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of different amounts of content you can do in this one. Then you can go and you can jump into the hub world like I'm doing here. There's lots of collectibles, kind of ways to replay missions, goals, side goals, all that sort of stuff. And I think they generally absolutely nailed this. Now, there are a couple areas where things do get quite hectic, and you get little bits of performance dropping, but nothing that really wrecked the experience. This is a single-player game, if you're not familiar with this. But yeah, it's just really enjoyable. That's a lot of what this is. It's a fun game to play. It's about causing mayhem. There's a bit of a sense of difficulty to it, but it's something you can kind of jump in with and have a good time. Again, the last kind of bosses being a little over the top and crazy, but I think they kind of nailed not only the world, the characters, and recapturing that original story, but they absolutely shined up the original aesthetic. Really just lovely areas with varying, levels of design and creation to them. And they give you these beautiful particle effects and details. It's kind of amazing. I'm really blown away by it. Oh, I thought I could, that's basically, you can transform into different, you can do a hollow thing and you could become a human. It's kind of cool. They give you these different abilities. You could do weird stuff with them, interaction-wise. Sorry, we're just trying to get that going here. So, making them dance and stuff, and you can control them, and you can have them fight each other. It's just kind of a lot of, I don't know what you could say, silly things that you can do, weird ways you can battle enemies, lots of destruction and mayhem that can take place. And I'm glad I'm not spoiling any of the story by jumping into this particular mode. I am increasing the intensity of the action, though, in regards to, blowing things up. It's kind of nuts. It's really neat. The game's got a great sense of humor to it. There's lots of ways to kind of upgrade your character, getting new abilities, causing greater mayhem to all of the enemies that come and fight you. It does carry a very cinematic heavy narrative to it. Nothing too ridiculous story-wise, but you get the sense of what I'm saying, that there actually is like a focus on storytelling, telling a surprising story with some like twists along the way, having those boss moments, having crazy large-scale moments of destruction, and letting you really experience this lovely set of worlds. And this is like, I believe, the Californian area type section, just in regards to the aesthetics, because you get a couple different places across the U.S. One in the main kind of city area, you know, you gotta deal with some of the president's men, and then there's also things such as like Farm Town US, a special area section that's kind of fun to go to that I don't want to spoil. Oh, and you can also fly around a giant saucer and cause absolute mayhem. Yep. There's lots of little fun extras, again, secrets and collectibles. I think you get quite a lot of value out of this one in regards to the content that's present here. And I mean, I played this back in the day, and it's amazing to see the faithful recreation that they've done here. I also revisited it slightly, the last one, through backwards compatibility. And you know what? It does actually look pretty good on there, but not to the degree that this version does. Like, this absolutely beautifully recaptures that original feeling and just absolutely takes it up a notch in terms of destruction and, you know, the crazy things you can do with the game. And I think it's very pleasing. That's what it is. I'm very happy to see, you know, this game come back and be available for new people to check it out, because I think it is kind of quirky. It's kind of funny. It's really weird, over the top, and they don't really make games from this perspective, because you really are just kind of like a monster that's out there destroying things, destroying parts of humanity, causing mayhem in the U.S. across the 50s, and it's just wild, you know. Like, there's so few games out there that do this kind of thing. Ooh, you're being abducted. And you just get the sense of that. Like, as we go through here, every one of these areas kind of like gets carved into its own special missions. I mean, you can see like some bits of popping and stuff, even when you're moving around in the world, but it's really not a big deal. I didn't have any problem with it, and I think it's just a really lovingly and well done, you know, remake. They really did have the care, the dedication, and the tools to properly bring this one back, and I'm just generally blown away that I'm able to relive this game. You know, there's all these, we failed because we went out of the area. That's a little touchy in my opinion, just in regards that you can like walk out of areas, but I think the missions for the most part all generally ran quite well. I didn't have any issues with them. Maybe this is a good opportunity to take a look at a different area of the game. Oh, it kind of flew me back here, but yeah, I want to show off another hub area because I think that might be fun too. So we're moving into another area, the classic farm section, and you know, I hope that I'm kind of getting across the fact that this is an interesting story, something unique, something that is fun to play and funny. I did laugh quite a few times, you know, going back to, you know, playing the story throughout, and it's quite funny. The aliens definitely got a good sense of humor, which I think is kind of neat. It's such a weird game because it's something that's also so of its time. Like, it's trying to emulate a time period, but you can also tell that some of the humor and the jokes were also of its era, and they've beautifully brought that back. You can also like suck the brains out of people, and you can also read minds, and they've got so many unique little comedic lines and stuff. It's just, I don't know. It's really hard to describe this game because it's so weird and enjoyable. It is a sort of, you know, confined experience. It's not gonna go on forever and ever, but you do get a decently lengthy campaign that's really well put together. The missions felt good. I would have liked some of the things could have been more clear in regards to your focus, or it also would have been nice to have more freedom to some degree in some of the levels and what I'm doing, but I think they give you a good balance of, hey, we're battling here, and hey, we've got to be stealthy because you know, that's the mission. You gotta be careful in the skies. There's a good balance of that. I'm trying to find if the fairgrounds are in this area. You gotta just fly around here, see what's going on, picking up a tractor. I like all the kind of interactions you can do too. I'm a little surprised that they let you interact with so many things, if you know what I mean. Like just causing mayhem, interacting with objects and throwing them around with the telekinesis. I believe it's called that. I don't think they have a funny, quirky name for it. But you get what I'm saying, though, just in regards to the varied things you can do here, just kind of landing. And again, the regular campaign missions aren't like this. Well, I mean, this is like a section of it. But the regular missions, you know, are actually structured stories. I'm just in a bit of a free play hub to go back and enjoy the different sections of the game and explore things and cause mayhem and mess around with people. Like, look at the destruction of that. And this, it just really looks like a lovely recreation where they took the original design and they enhanced it greatly in so many unique ways. You know, it's such an odd series to come back, and I'm glad that it did, because I think there are like many ways that you can push this kind of idea further and do fun things with it that are over the top and strange, and this was a great start of it. I also like that they've done wonders in regards to the mechanics of multiple interactions. So when you're playing, you know, we have these abilities. We have the ability to like zap, and we got the different guns. But now you can do things such as, like, say, pick this guy up, fly, and also like zap people. You know what I mean? Before in the original game, it was a lot harder to coordinate things like that, like multitasking these abilities with the control scheme. It was a bit awkward, and I think they got a really good handle on that one in regards to it, like feeling good to handle. Feeling good to move around. And I like that you know, this is like a fairly large area, and you can see that my destruction is still present over in the distance, the chaos I've caused. And they've got like such a nice level of detail just within every little area of this. You know, the vehicles, the style of the environment, the little towns you get to visit. It's all just quite lovely and charming. And it plays around with the tropes of this sort of alien invasion really fun. And I'm kind of surprised that other games haven't really done this kind of thing, you know, because we've seen there's not really a whole lot of like alien, there is a lot of alien invasion games, but not quite like this, or from this perspective, or doing the little green men kind of jokes and stuff like that, if you know what I mean. It's very much a unique title, and I do think it's worth visiting due to the fact that this is such a cool thing with this serious guy. There are different costumes to get, number of extras to enjoy, and there's just, you know, quite a lot of content to this. A lot of fun to be had, a neat story to kind of engage in, and I think that it's definitely worth your time to check this one out and just have fun with it. Again, I did feel a little bit of the pressures of the end bosses, but I think for the most part, if you were a fan of this, you're going to love what they did here. If you never played this game before or even heard of it, I think you're going to find this to be like such a uniquely weird experience. And while the missions are, you know, kind of a little shorter segments and things like that, I think they do largely hold up well. It did mostly feel like the original in regards to the structuring. I don't know the exact changes for every segment, because it has been a while since I actually, you know, played the whole thing back in the day. I mostly just did a revisit to look at the visuals so I can make a comparison between this and that original. But yeah, it feels very much like what they set up there, just a lot better cinematics, a lot better of an experience, and a lot better of a game setup. I hope you've enjoyed some of this mindless chaos, because it's been fun for me. And remember, you need to destroy all humans.